Welcome. I'm so glad you dropped by today. My name is Linda Phippen, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Ontario, Canada. I have some Christmas cards for you today with snowflakes, and apparently it's only 26 weeks left till Christmas. So we do need to get working on our Christmas cards. So let's get started. Today I'm going to show you some cards made with the Merry Snowflakes stamp and die set. It does come in a bundle. There are 8 stamps and 14 dies, and they're on page 12 and 13. Here is a sample of the dies that are interchangeable. They are stitch dies, which is what's down here, and these are samples of the stitch dies. But if you just do the stitch dies, you just get the stitches on the paper, which is very pretty. But if you want to make them snowflakes, then you can just use the die and cut out a few of these snowflakes. And this one goes here on these, or they go on these other snowflakes. So you can, and here's a sample of 6 of the actual snowflakes. So they're very, very nice. This is very interesting as it does stitching on your paper like the other dies. So you can kind of get an idea of that as well. So let's get started. The first card we're going to do today is made with Night of Navy. Excuse me. And the sentiment is snowflake hugs. And I've used that from this Snowbody Better. So it has some really cute sentiments on it and a really cute snowman bunch of fellas. So that's another card that you can make using this stamp. But for today we're just going to use some of the sentiments from it. And I've used some acetate and I've used some alcohol markers on here. So I just want you to bear with me as I show you some new techniques that I hope you will enjoy. So I tried to use the our re-inkers, and because they're watercolor they do not stick, so you cannot use these. I'll just give you a few more hints. I used the memento on one of the cards of the acetate, didn't work, and then I tried to do some embossing, and as you can see I melted it. So a few bloopers there. But you know, it's all learning, and if I can pass on a few little tricks so you don't have to waste your product, there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm going to use 2 acetate pieces, and the first one I'm going to use Night of Navy, and light Night of Navy, dark Night of Navy, and the balmy blue, the dark one. So let me just put this, because there's 2 cards that I'm going to be using the acetate, so I want to show you how every one of them will be different. So this is quite light, and I do apologize for the squeaking. Kind of cute, eh? But it's well worth the noise. So that's quite light. There, maybe I won't push so hard, maybe that will work. But I discovered too, you want to put lots of ink on your acetate, because otherwise it will not show up. So again, it doesn't matter how you get this on. I did a video quite some time ago with vellum, and this is the same idea, except of course it's a different medium here that we're using. So the alcohol that we're using is 99%, and you can find that at any store, like pharmacy or whatever. So that doesn't look too exciting, but watch what happens when you can either dab, you can swish it on, and it creates a really nice design. You can see the colors mixing. And it continues to move, so it's just really very fun. Now, it doesn't take that long to dry, but you do need to let it dry, so that's what that looks like. So I'm just going to set that aside. And the second card of acetate that we're going to use is with the Real Red. And every time you do this, it is a different look. So I'm just using the two colors, the light and the dark. And you want to make sure that you get those on right there, because you don't want to damage your tip. And sometimes, there we go. So I don't think you can really put too much ink on. Okay, so we've got that on. And I'm using, I didn't change my alcohol at all. And you can even swish it around, and it kind of comes maybe a smoother look. But each one, every time you do it, doesn't matter if you do the same thing, is always going to be different. So now don't judge the product yet, or don't judge the card yet, because it really will look pretty. So there is what that looks like. Very soft, but I'm going to let that dry and show you what we did with this. So on this card you can see the navy is very subtle, and I put behind it our foil, our silver foil, and I embossed it with the winter snow. So I've already done that for you, and doesn't that look nice and shiny? So when you put your dried acetate, like this is not the one that we just did, because I need to let it dry. And see, you can put it on there and you can see the result. And I see I didn't cut this to the exact size, but not a problem. So I really liked how that turns out. And when I did the frame, some of you have done frames before, and what I did was I used from the stitched rectangles, missing one of the sizes, so the larger one and the smaller one, to give I'd say about 1/4 of an inch frame. And if you want it smaller, not skipping a size, this is the size that we'll get, and that's about 1/8 of an inch. So there is a difference depending on what kind of a frame you want for your card. So I used I liked the bigger frame. And something else I learned from this card is that when you use your stamp and seal, it does not show through. Another thing you want to look at is to put your ink on the inside of the card. So I just, I didn't want to put too much on it anyway. But I couldn't believe that you couldn't see through it. Like you really can't see. So there, we've got that. Now, when I did this card as well, I used some of our foam tape or your foam pieces, which are right here, foam strips, and put them on the frame. So let me just, I should have had those on for you. So you just take strips, put them on, give it a cut here. I'll get rid of that piece since it's falling off anyway. So it's not a really big dimension that it's going to be, but it will put on some dimension. And they're very easy to slip on. You can actually just pull them. You don't need to cut them. Okay. And you always save your pieces, as we all know. And then just give it a pull, because it's double-sided. It sticks to your fingers. Okay, so then you just get it centered on your paper. And look at that, I didn't cut this side. Oh my goodness. No worries. We just have to do a little tender loving care. It's supposed to be cut ahead of time. But you know, we don't always do what we're supposed to do. But an easy fix. So then we just slip this on the front of our card. And we can use this. The sentiment that I used, I think, is so cute. Snowflake hugs. Okay. Now, this is a snowflake from the Wonderful Snowflakes, and you get 6 in a package. And I can tell you from experience that you get 6, then you take your dies and use up the rest of your pieces, and you can get another 4 more full dies. And then for those of us who want to use all the pieces, you can even do half snowflakes, which you can slip in different places of your cards. So that's how that works. Okay, so I put snowflake here. And I think I'm going to use the glue, which is on the other side of my table. Excuse me there. So I stuck one up there, and I liked them kind of over the frame a little bit. And all of these dies they're stitched on them, which is so pretty. Then here's our sentiment, which is on white, and then, it's on navy, embossed in white. Then I finished that off with the holiday rhinestones and just stuck them in the middle of the snowflakes. There we go. And these these rhinestones are quite shiny. Let's see if we get that on right. And then we'll stick one in there. And what I did on the inside of the card is I just took the Knight of Navy and stamped all the way around the card. And that is our first card. So I hope you like that. I thought it turned out pretty neat. And every card, as you can see, is a little different. So card number 1. Now card number 2, I did the acetate, but what I did put behind it is the free product that you get from Celebration, and it's bedazzling, so pretty. And behind the acetate, it is stunning, just stunning. And this card says Warm Winter Wishes. And we will just put that together quickly. And again, see how different this card is. I put a lot more ink on it, and it looks just stunning. See how sparkly that is? Nothing says Christmas like a little bit of sparkle. So I'm going to, again, make sure that the ink is on the inside, just in case, and I'm not sure, but it might scratch off. Maybe not, though. Now this one, of course, I cut the right size. Now I put the ribbon on, and I discovered that if you do it on grid paper or your or even a line paper, you can, of course, should have done that before I taped it, but anyway. So I just lined up each side, and there we go. I got it straight and stuck to the paper. Next time we'll do that in the right order. We just put a little piece extra in there. And then I just brought the ribbon, put it on the back. Okay. What I'm going to do first, though, is put on the sentiment, because then I can put the snowflakes on. Because I did it the other way around before, and it took me a minute to find a space. So Warm Winter Wishes with the real red foil. And what I did, what I wanted to show you is I have the dazzling gold behind this, but I wanted to show you some options that I discovered. So I'm just going to leave that there for a second. I discovered in my stash, and I'm not sure how old it is, it's called Stampin' Up! Ice Stampin' Glitter, and I put that on one of the snowflakes with just some glue, and it is so pretty. I mean, the snowflake stands alone, but this is very pretty. So I like that very much. And then I found this Dazzling Diamonds, which again is a product that Stampin' Up! Has had over the years. and it just seems to last a long time. But I don't know, I can't really see the sparkle on it, but it's very pretty. So all you have to do is put glue on it, but I do suggest that you do it on there's a shiny side and a matte side if you use these bigger snowflakes. But they stand alone just very nicely, so you don't really have to do that. But it's just a thought. And these snowflakes I'm going to put our sticky specks on. Because I get glue all over me all the time. Okay, so that's on there. This is on here. And I put just sticky specks on the middle of this big snowflake, because you're putting it on your ribbon as well. So I put that on the ribbon. Then I put some dimensions on these two snowflakes so that they would have dimension. So maybe we don't put that exactly above there. Okay, put that over. I didn't want it to go exactly on top. And then these ones here, I think I'll put that on top of the snowflake. Then we put it on the front of our card. And what I did for the inside was use the dazzling paper behind it, and I used the embossing folder called Wintry 3D, and it has some beautiful designs on it, but I just did the sides because I thought the gold really told the story. And there's nothing like gold for Christmas. So there we go. We've got the inside of that card. And on these Christmas rhinestones, there is red. There's all the colors of Christmas on these. And that is card number 2. So the same concept, but with the gold behind. The other one, of course, has the silver. It's not quite as sparkly, but it is very, very nice. And the last card we're going to do, I don't have a sample because I thought we would just put it together. And this is from the spiral die, and I thought that it would look quite nice in the middle of a Christmas card. And then, of course, I put the bedazzling behind it with the frame and with the snowflake in the center. Will look very, very nice. Okay, so let's put that together first. And I've got glue dots holding the vellum, or holding the ribbon, and we will just put that on. Black and gold, you cannot go wrong with black and gold. It is just beautiful. Always looks so classy. So what I did with this snowflake this time was I used Versamark stamp pad around it and put gold embossing on it. Now, I didn't get it over the whole thing, which I didn't feel like I really needed to. So I put, it just adds some more gold, and then I used some sparkly paper for the backing of that so that it would show up in the center of our card. So I knew what I wanted to do. And I didn't want the black not to show up, because it really adds to the look. And what I did for the inside of the card, I wanted to show you this, is I used you know, the tacky tape. I'm not sure that's what you call it, but I wanted a straight line of gold. So I did that, put my Versamark across there, and as you pull it off, there is a gold line, and I put gold embossing on with the snowflakes. And again with our dazzling gold paper, makes it look very stunning indeed. And I think I just wasn't sure what kind of a sentiment to put on it. So you know how sometimes you make a card and you just need to think about it? But the snowflake, certainly a simple Merry Christmas would be fine on there. So I thought that looked very nice. Our snowflake on the outside with the gold ribbon makes for a very nice card. When I did the stamping though, I used the Stays On, because the memento was not drying. So definitely, if you're going to do this on acetate, that you need to use Stays On. And it worked great, and it didn't take long to dry, where the other was not drying. So I hope you enjoyed these cards, and so let me get them all out here and move some space here. So similar ideas, but they all look quite different. So here, let's put this this way. And they're all very sparkly cards, and I hope you enjoyed them. Thank you kindly for watching, and I hope you enjoyed them, and I will see you again next week. Thank you for your kind comments and your subscribing and liking. So have a great week. I'll see you shortly. Bye for now.